Well, just when you thought flying during the holidays couldn't get any more stressful, a major airline is rolling out a new controversial boarding policy. They call it, well, it's considered pay least, board last. British Airways says starting next month, travelers who paid for the most expensive tickets, well, they will be seated first, while the rest of us, those who scored the cheap seats, well, you're going to board last. British Airways joining U.S. airlines, some of them, in so-called basic economy fares. What's this all about? Ed Pizzarello joins us, travel blogger and editor of the travel website Pizza in Motion. Ed, great to see you. So now we got first class and last class. What does this mean?
Good afternoon, Eric. It's good to be with you. It is a copy of what the U.S. airlines are doing with basic economy, and I'm almost a little surprised it took British Airways to get there this long. If you think about it, they've got a lot of low-cost competition over in Europe. Ryanair and EasyJet have been selling no-frills fares for a long time, and I think it's where we are today. Customers want to pay as little as possible, and the airlines figure that they can cut as much as possible to force us to pay a little more.
Yeah, but if you're put in the back of the line, some people, they could be embarrassed, but other people could be really proud because the first-class people finally will be looking at us with the green envy, saying, "Wait a minute, I'm on the same flight. I get there like a quarter of a millionth second before they do because they're in the back, and they paid less for the same flight." Or people are going to be covering their faces, or going to be proud of this?
There's a little bit of both. If you think about it, with the number of people that they squeeze onto airplanes today, I don't really want to be on there any earlier than I have to. I am because I have to fight for that overhead bin space for my carry-on bag. But if you are traveling light, spending a lot less for your ticket and squeezing on at the last minute is probably better than having to sit in that metal tube an extra 20 minutes.
All right, well, British Airways, look, they got the monarchy and the Queen, and the rest of us are plebeians, I guess. Meanwhile, basic economy that you mentioned, what is that? What does it let us do, and what are the restrictions?
The restrictions vary by airline. The tough thing here is in the U.S. it's American, Delta, and United's answer to Spirit and Frontier. It's we'll charge you a little bit less for your ticket, but you're not going to get common things you might expect, like a seat assignment or the ability to bring on a carry-on bag. If you're traveling with your children, you might not be able to sit next to them. And the hope by the big U.S. airlines is you'll come there for their low fares, and then they'll scare you enough to buy a more expensive seat.
They even say you can't use the overhead bin?
In some cases, yeah, you won't be able to use an overhead bin. Everything you carry on will have to fit under the seat in front of you.
And what if that's not the case?
Then they'll charge you more at the gate in some instances to check that bag than if you checked it early.
What's next? They keep, they keep on cheaping down on the meals. They're going to have a fare you can't use the bathroom? You got to hold it for the whole flight?
Well, I'll tell you,
how far is this going to go?
The CEO of Ryanair joked about that a couple of years ago, but they've also looked into is there a way to create a standing seat on an airplane? I don't think we've seen the last of what airlines can charge us for.
Strap hangers, they would put us in there as strap hangers like in the subway if the FAA allowed it and the NTSB wouldn't. Ed Pizzarello, thank you so much. Well, hey, as long as you get there in one piece and safety and your luggage is there, that's good enough for me. Ed, thanks.
Thanks for having us on.
Of course.